Hey everybody, Jeppy here, and this is the second video in a series where you all sent me your new Valorant agent ideas. In the first video, we had some epic submissions, like an ice agent that's ultimate is a blizzard and acts kind of like a KJ ult, and even another agent that adds time to the clock in a Valorant round. I have even more great submissions sent in by you guys for today's video, so let's get right into it. Our first submission actually comes from two people on my Discord server. I have a channel on the server where you can drop your new agent ideas for the next video, or if you think you have a great idea and you want a chance for it to be featured in the next video, you can always leave a comment down below. But here we have a drawing from a sub named Sketch Ninja showing his idea for an agent, but he asked another sub named Literally Trash in the server to come up with the abilities based on what he drew. Let's read what he came up with. You can always feel free to pause or screenshot if you want to read the entire thing, but let's skip to the code name. Codename Agent. Looks like they're still working on the agent name. Origin Brazil, rule Duelist. Passive Extended Mags. All weapons that hold bullets with magazines, for example, rifles, SMGs, and some pistols, hold 10% more ammo per magazine. All weapons have 10% more total ammo. I really am not opposed to passive abilities. You know, Phoenix can heal himself with his fire abilities, and Jet can slowly descend from elevated positions down to lower ones based on her, radiant wind ability. So this passive ability for this agent is pretty good. It can make weapons like the Frenzy, for example, perform much better if they get a couple more bullets in the magazine. So this is pretty nice. C ability Melee Rush. Equip a machete and a range indicator. Fire to rush straight forward at a rapid pace. Hitting an enemy will kill them instantly, and hitting an obstacle, ally, enemy, or letting the ability's timer in 15 seconds will end the ability. Agent is still vulnerable to enemies while rushing. One charge, 250 cost. Not a bad ability at all. I'm guessing the agent's going to move much faster with his rush ability, so it could either be used to cover ground quickly, or just straight up just run into the enemy smoke or whatever and just instantly kill them. Q ability Blinding Bullets. Equip one of Agent's custom revolvers. Fire to release a bullet that will split after first impact. Upon the split ends making contact with an obstacle, they release a blinding light, 3 seconds for example. The blinding bullets do not induce damage. 2 charges, 200 cost each. So think of this blind like breach blind, for example, where the blind hits a wall, but on the other side of the wall, the blind happens. But with this agent, the blind will happen on the side of the wall or the obstacle that it got shot on. Honestly, a pretty good blind. E ability hip firing. Temporarily, maybe 10 seconds. Give agent a smaller area of firing spread while on the move. 1 free charge, 30-second recharge. So I feel like this ability would definitely promote running and gunning, and maybe with this agent it would work out, especially with the rush ability as well. Ultimate ability Crossfire. Equip 2 custom rapid firing revolvers, basically 2 sheriffs with a shared ammo count and effectively 2 times the fire rate that provide faster mobility and smaller firing spread on the move as well. Fire to shoot 1 bullet at a time from a pistol. Always fire to shoot 2 bullets at once at the cost of slightly lessening the accuracy and a normal fire rate. 6 orbs. Okay, so another agent ultimate that could give you a weapon, kind of like a jet or a chamber. Honestly, it sounds pretty good. We're kind of going into the running and gunning theme of this agent, but with 2 dual wield sheriffs and with the fire spread a little tighter and a 2 times fire rate, that could be a really good ult. What do you guys think of this agent so far? Do you think you'd be a super aggressive duelist like a Yor, for example? Or do you think you might not be that great? What do you think? Next agent submission comes from DieKid99. I think I butchered that name, but this is what they had to say. So I had an idea for a more non-traditional sentinel, kind of like chamber, that focuses more on denying space by being really difficult to clear rather than ability. Their name is Aegis. E ability Refusal Lenses. Activating this ability will make Aegis immune to the effects of flashes, concusses, and near sights for 12 seconds, 20-second cooldown. Ooh, that sounds really strong. Being able to be immune to flashes, near sights, and concusses for 12 seconds and a 20-second cooldown, I think the window of that is too long, and I think the cooldown is too short. Maybe make the window an 8-second, 10-second window and a cooldown maybe 30 seconds. That way you can't use it like 4 times in a round. That's a pretty good ability though. I would think that'd be really strong, because flashes and concusses and near sights, especially in higher ranks, are incredibly overpowered, and with a well-coordinated team, that'd be tough. Q ability Safety Network. Deploy a device on the ground that will destroy up to 2 pieces of throwable utility that travel within the radius of the device. So kind of like a trophy system in Call of Duty where it's like, throw it down and just like snags projectiles as it gets thrown out. 2 throwables. That could be really, really good if you're trying to get the defuse off and, Viper or Sova or Brim has lineups with their mollies. That'd be really good if you're trying to get the defuse and it just snipes the mollies out of the air. So if this agent was on the field and they had this ability activated, that would pretty much destroy lineups. C ability, Concussion Mine. Deploy up to 2 mines on the ground that take a second to wind up before concussing anyone who walks within the radius for 4 seconds. As long as these mines can get destroyed by, the enemy gunfire or abilities, I think this is a balanced ability. Kind of shares the same like anti-flank potential and notification like a chambered treadmark or a cipher tripwire. Ultimate ability, Clarity. Clears all enemy smokes that have been deployed within a certain radius of you, as well as giving Aegis a combat stim for 10 seconds. This is a fantastic ultimate and very clever, because just imagine how many times you're in a retake scenario or where the enemy team is taking the site and Brim has like 3 smokes all over the map. Viper has her wall up, her poison aura up, and Orman has smokes up, or Astra or whatever. And it's just impossible to push a site or, get the retake off correctly because of the smokes. So with this agent, all the smokes in the area would effectively go away. And just imagine how easy it would be for retakes or, to stop a site push when all of a sudden the defenders or the attackers are left in the open, when you could get line of sight of them again when these smokes dissipate. Honestly, a really cool ability. Our next agent submission comes from Rafale Starlock, and they say name Raven, role duelist, species human, country origin United States, and country she's currently in hiding, Philippines. Passive ability, Winged Boots. She can double jump and can jump mid-air using her jump booster boots. So I'm not the biggest fan of this passive ability, because basically this Winged Boots passive ability is basically Jet's updrafts. Now, maybe it doesn't have the same heights that a Jet can reach with her updrafts, but wow, a passive ability that basically is a Jet updraft, that's kind of nutty if you think. Q ability, Talon Blades. Raven throws 5 knives at an arc instantly, damaging anyone who hits by it, including allies. It's like KO's knife throw ability, but 5 more and more dangerous if an ally is in front of you. OP, but it has its setbacks. I kind of like this ability. It's like a double-edged sword where, maybe you could get high damage with a precise aim on an enemy, but if a teammate is in there, you could easily kill your teammate. I do see this being an issue with, trolling and people who are wanting to throw or, troll their teammates, where they could just like do massive damage to a teammate instantly if they were to throw this ability at them. So that'd be a problem. E ability, Evasion. Raven instantly rolls backwards with instinct, immune to ability based damage while she rolls backwards. It's like Jet's E ability, but backwards, good for disengaging fights. This agent is really starting to sound like a Jet 2.0, and I like it a lot. Any agent that can disengage from his fight quickly is going to be really strong, especially paired with a op. Like we see that all the time with a Jet dash and a chamber TP. So far this is looking pretty good. C ability, Instinct. Raven activates her assassin's instinct, sensing the enemies in a wide radius around her, uncovering where they are, but doesn't specify whose agent is who. Like Sova's recon bolt, but she's the bolt. So I think this ability is a little too strong. So from what I feel like you're saying is that Raven is the bolt, and she activates the ability, and any agent in a fairly large radius around her will be pinged, I'm guessing, but it won't show who that agent is. I think this is a little strong, especially because, for example, this kind of reminds me of a KO knife, where you throw the knife and you don't know where exactly the agents are, but you know that they're kind of in the same area. But if you're able to find out exactly where those agents are, through a wall, that's going to lead to a lot of crazy wall bangs and like Sova ultimates or Brim ults or anything like that. And besides KO with the information he gathers with his knife, every other like scanning ability in the game, like anything with Sova or Fade's Haunt, needs direct line of sight with it. So I think that either line of sight needs to be initiated, or maybe with this ability that we can't know exactly where they are, through the wall. So I think that's one of the changes we need to make to this ability. Ultimate Skyfall. Raven channels her strength for 3 seconds and leaps up into the air and landing on an area, creating an energy blast upon landing. She's invulnerable in mid-flight, so the best advice against her is to move out of her way. Kind of sounds a little strong. It reminds me of like a Doomfist ultimate from Overwatch. But man, being invulnerable while you're in the air is I think that's kind of crazy. It sounds like a Raze ult where she can blast up in the in the air with her blast packs and throw out her showstopper. But I like how the Skyfall ability ultimate can deal damage. I'm not the biggest fan of her being invulnerable while this happens, because you need to have a way to counter it, especially if it's going to be a killing ability that can upright kill you and probably your entire team. So let's make her vulnerable, and I think that's a good ability. Now you can totally screenshot this or pause this if you want to read her lore appearance, but let's move on to the next submission. Our next mission comes from R49NAR21, and this is what they say. Since the introduction of the latest cinematic, I thought a lot about what Killjoy says. It's a life support system, and I came up with an agent idea. First of all, I think the game has a lack of controllers, so here is the idea. The name of the agent is Atlas. First ability, Atlas throws a beacon on the ground that can give to all players in its range temporary shield effect. It's similar to Brimstone's stim beacon, but instead of a speed boost and a fire rate boost, it will give you a shield. This can give you only shield, not HP. So, I don't know if I'm too keen on this ability because, man, just imagine a 5-stack push on like an A main on Breezer or, you know, any site, for example. And this agent throws out that and you just automatically give every single teammate in its range extra HP. Oh, you know, extra shield. Ooh, that's tough. That's strong. Maybe like him and another agent, so that way you could kind of trade for each other. I don't know about the entire team. The entire team kind of sounds a little strong. What do you guys think? Second ability, Atlas uses the ground and can take dust from the ground, and then after the agent throws the dust turns into smoke immediately. Atlas has no tablet like Brimstone or form like Omen and Astra. He throws the smoke like Viper, but he can't deactivate the smoke. The type of smoke is the same type as Brimstone. So it looks like Atlas picks up dust off the ground and then can use that dust to somehow create a smoke. I think that there would probably be an animation of him picking up dust off the ground and doing that, right? So there's probably, you know, at least somewhat of an animation for that. So basically just a smoke ability. What do you guys think? Third ability, Atlas put a geyser on the ground that can rise up the agents, but be careful because if you use the ability on high places, they can take fall damage. The ability will disappear after a short time. Honestly, not a bad idea. You could use this for yourself if you want to get in elevated positions, like how an Omen can TP, a Chamber can TP, or a Jet can updraft. You know how Sage can like throw up her wall and like all the teammates can be like elevated because of that, and you can surprise the enemies a ton with that little tactic. I don't think this ability is going to be very versatile, but it's a nice little thing to have. And then we have Atlas's ultimate. Atlas puts a shell on the ground that creates an area of water around the shell. All of the agents in the area will start to float. In the area, the agents can shoot and do anything, but this will be hard for them. If the agents affected manage to escape from the area from the high place, they will not take fall damage. If you want to destroy the shell, all you need to do is shoot at the shell, kind of like Killjoy's ult, but Atlas can hear if the shell is destroyed. So if I'm getting this right, it looks like it's kind of like something where Killjoy puts down her, you know, her lockdown and an area of effect is around. But it's kind of mixed between a KJ lockdown, a Viper ultimate, and a new ability where it's a surrounding area controlled by one device, and it looks like the water levels rise in the area and any agent in it is going to be able to move and be able to shoot and use abilities, but it's probably going to be very inaccurate, like you're walking or like you're going across the rope on Fracture or something where, you know, it's very inaccurate. And as the water levels rise, so does you. It would be very hard to figure out if this ultimate would be good for the team or bad for the team if it was activated. I guess you'd have to see if you were to do a play test with it. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this one? Well, everyone, that's all the time we have for today's video. If you have any ideas, please feel free to share them in the comments below or head on over to my Discord and tell me there. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notifications if you're new. Now, with all that being said, Jeppy out.